The arrival of the Vice President, Professor Osinbajo, signals the commencement of the 28th Nigerian Economic Summit holding in Abuja. Government officials, including state governors and ministers, private sector players, technocrats and foreign investors are attending the event, which, according to the chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit, Mr. Osinbajo, aims to provide a proper understanding of the issues at stake and aggregate views on how to tackle them appropriately. Just as the keynote speaker, Mr. Pascal Doze, says the government must deal with national security.
To sustain our turnaround, our new government from 29th May 2023 must be ready for office and show an understanding of the critical issues. Accordingly, we must at this summit reach a broad-based consensus on certain policies and issues that our leading contenders must subscribe to.
As a fundamental principle of nationhood, regardless of the cost, we must deal with threats to our national security, violence, attacks, terrorism, war, espionage, in a smart, transparent, accountable, and coordinated manner.
As Nigeria grapples with the challenge of unemployment, high inflation rate, among others, the Vice President, Professor Osinbajo, calls for increased productivity to create more jobs for Nigerian youths.
We must create the environment for business to make local and international trade easier by fixing our ports, effecting the national single window, revamping our customs processes and tariff codes to reduce delays and arbitrariness, removing needless restrictions on imports to enable value-added processes, etc. Of course, our exchange rate regime remains an issue of some concern. The discussions that we must have, shorn of sentiments, is how best to manage the situation by finding a mechanism for increasing supply and moderating demand, a mechanism which will be transparent and which will boost confidence.
Professor Osinbajo also congratulates Mr. Ni Yusuf on his election as the new chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. With the theme 2023 and beyond, priorities for shared prosperity, there's a consensus at this summit that those preparing to take over the leadership of the country come 2023 must rise up to the occasion of ensuring that the country develops at a pace that will translate to better welfare for the citizenry. Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.